Hi there. So today I'm talking about common misconceptions about South Africa. And there are quite a few, sadly. Sadly. Anyway, mostly sprung from ignorance and not really watching the news or paying attention to the world around you. And people think some really crazy things. Anyway, my notes are over here, so I'll keep looking here, and my neighbor's moving out, so it's kind of interesting. Always thought he was a drug dealer, but hey. Yeah, anyway, getting back to it. I was asked, do we have electricity in South Africa? And I was asked this on an online chat, it was on Skype. Do we have electricity? And quite obviously, I said yes. Quite a stupid question in my opinion. But anyway, as I'm posting this on the internet off my computer, you must assume that I do have electricity. We do have quite a lot of electricity power cuts, as Americans would say. But this is because of our power provider, sorry, Eskom, and it's not really because we lack the intelligence or the facilities to have electricity, shall I say. So yeah, we do have electricity here. Thank you for asking. So yeah. Excuse me. Sorry about that, I'm back. My brother always finds the worst times to ask me questions. But anyway, back to my list. Alright. Lots of people also think, okay, this has been cancelled out quite a lot thanks to the 2010 World Cup, but many people had the misconception that South Africa was full of wild animals and that they'd like just walking in our gardens and stuff. Which, quite likely, I should say. Maybe not so likely. It could be quite cool to see a lion in your backyard every now and then. Anyway, we do not have wild animals roaming around free. Every now and then one will come out, get out of the park or the zoo. And then, yeah. But that's the same in any other country when they escape from the zoo, Well, some people do live quite close to the Kruger National Park, which is our main national park in South Africa, hence called National Park. Anyway, I'm talking crap. They live quite close to there, so you do every now and then find maybe a warthog or something running around a town. Okay, it's not really a town, it's a tiny little village. Used to live in one of these. Called Chingondeni, close to Limpopo. Anyway, my own story, not the point. Right. We do not have wild animals running free. Main point. This is one of the amazing ones that I've been asked from this very intelligent guy from America. I'm not saying all Americans are intelligent, but this guy was quite on his own level, should I say. He asked, why do I not stop rhino poaching? I, myself, me, the 19-year-old. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. He kind of thought that people would just run past my yard, again with the wild animals just running, and I'll see someone killing a rhino and I'll be like, hey, stop that. I mean, seriously, that's not how things happen here. But, anyway, I'm very sad about the rhino poaching. I mean, if you've ever been on a safari and or a game drive and you've seen a rhino, they are beautiful creatures. They really are magnificent. And to think that any of our creatures would die out is extraordinarily sad. So I do support the Rhino Fund. I do donate every now and then when my pocket allows. And I suggest you do the same. Alrighty then. Another great question from my smart American friend. What are your houses made out of? Obviously, our houses are made of bricks, unlike you who make them out of wood. So who's more advanced in that level, I might want to ask. But let's not get into that. That might be a video for another day. Yeah, our houses are made out of bricks, all of them. We don't make wooden houses. We do not do that here. Um, right, in some of the old tribes, which we civilized people do not live in. I'm not saying they're not civilized. Oh, this is getting political. Anyway, in some of the old tribes, they make their houses out of cattle dung. And everyone thinks, oh, they must stink terribly. But when it dries, it actually doesn't smell at all. It's just like concrete. And I think it's kind of cool how innovative they were. Thinking, hey, how can we make a house? So yeah, props. Anyway, next question. Where is my next question? Oh, my great American friend said once again, he was always under the impression that Africa was just one country, one whole country. And me, in South Africa, which is, if you know Africa, which hopefully you do, South Africa is right on the southern point of it. Imagine that, South Africa. Wow, who would have guessed? On the southern point of Africa, and here's the rest of Africa. Huge continent, huge. 53 countries. And so he would always ask, how is the weather in Africa? Do you have lots of black people in Africa? I'll get to that question later. And he would always, the way he would come across that he would think, I lived in Africa, whereas I only live in South Africa. I don't know what the hell's going on in the rest of Africa. Okay, sometimes I do, but, you know, he'll think it's like daily news or something. Which I really don't know. So yeah, South Africa is just a tiny little part, quite small indeed, of Africa itself. And I don't know what's going on in Dubai or Egypt or, you know, CBD or, I just know my own little country, and Japan. But it doesn't matter for now. Alright, next question. They ask, do we have tarred roads? Yes, we do. If I had my camera, I could show you our tarred roads outside. To be perfectly honest, our municipality does lack a bit compared to other countries. So we do have quite a lot of potholes, and at the moment, they're actually numbering our potholes. Yes, they number our potholes here, so they know which ones to fill in. So I don't know if they come down the road, this pothole doesn't have a number. Do they not number it? Do they not fill it in? But anyway, who knows? It's our amazing government. Yay! Anyway, we have I live in Witbank, which is known for the worst potholes in South Africa. So we have lots of them. I was just counting up my street, and the numbers ranged from 100 to 200 potholes in just my street. And our streets are small in South Africa, they're not huge. But yeah. Next question. Do we have cities in South Africa? And yes, we do. Have you never heard of Joburg? Johannesburg, our main city. It's pretty cool. It's nothing compared to the cities in America or Japan, you know. It's nothing like Tokyo or New York. Anything huge like that. But we do have significant population enough to call it a city. We don't live in villages and little shanty towns. We have lots of those as well. No. So, next question. Oh, I love this one. So, I was on this chat room on Skype, and a friend of a friend who didn't quite know me yet asked where I'm from, and I said South Africa. So he was like, is that in Africa? It's like, yes, obviously. So he's like, you can't be South African, you're not black. Quite straightforward like that. And he actually thought that there were only black people in South Africa. probably the whole of Africa, which is kind of weird. Like, don't you ever watch the news? Like, ever? So, yeah, I'd explain to him that you do get white people in Africa, South Africa as well. So, it was kind of weird. And I was thinking about this. How in America they don't call black people black. They call them African Americans. Now I was thinking, what would we call them here? Would we call them Africans? African Africans. Well, see, that doesn't quite work because I'm also an African. I was born here, so I'm South African. What do you call them? South African? African? It doesn't quite make sense. In South Africa, we use the word black. We try to use it sparingly. We don't try and make it sound bad. Try to make it sound as polite as possible, which is kind of weird. Some Afrikaans people, other language of South Africa, they try and say brown people or darker people, or they try to make it sound not as black, should I say. But me, I say black because it's the only way I know of describing them. I myself do not consider myself racist at all. My best friend, actually, my only friend, is black, and she is 8 years old. Yeah, I need to get out more often. Anyway, as some of you hopefully know, South Africa is called the Rainbow Nation, and this is partly because of all our different cultures, which come down from all our different colonizations. Like everyone was just sailing around the world. It's like, oh, look at this place, South Africa. Let's pull in here. Pull in. Just inside joke. So we have a lot of different people, different cultures, different races in South Africa, which I myself find myself quite lucky to be in such a diverse place. Whereas in Japan, if someone sees a black person or a white person, like, oh, ooh, kaiching, so cool. Here, it's every day. Like my brother has a white friend, a black friend, and an Indian friend, and one's Muslim, one's Christian, and one's atheist, and they're from all walks of life, and it's pretty cool. Our life gets really interesting when you try to make a meal for them. But yeah, since one doesn't eat vegetables, he thinks they poison. The other one doesn't eat pork, beef, and yeah, but it's fun that way. So anyway, we're very culturally diverse. We have, I think our most populated would be the blacks, yes, but then we have quite a lot of Indians as well, coloureds, Cape Coloureds definitely in the Cape Town area, whites. We do have Chinese people. They probably the minority. I hear we have some Japanese people. I've never seen them though. I'm sure they come meet me. I want to meet Japan people. Why do I keep saying Japan people? Goodness sake. Anyway, next question. I'm blabbering. Alright then. Do we have banks in South Africa? Yes, we do have banks. We don't just store all our money on our mattresses. We only do that if we want to avoid taxes, which is bad. Don't do that. Alrighty then. I think that's pretty much all of it. Yeah. South Africa's not exactly what you think. I'm not saying some of it might be true, like our power cuts and our potholed roads and such things. But don't just jump to conclusions, especially if they're stupid ones, like animals walking all over the place and me having a rhino as a pet. So anyway, if you have any more questions, or if you have heard any weird misconceptions about South Africa, please comment, and I would love to answer your questions. Thank you.